Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf. This is DocStar TV. I've got Oliver back on, and we're going to be talking about Thunder Shrooms today. But no, we're not just going to talk about product. We're going to talk about you are the product of your thoughts. You are the product of your thoughts. And if you don't understand that, then you are going to be in big trouble. Let me tell you something. I just got off the phone with a couple, a very beautiful couple, and they're going, Dr. Wolf, you're living in Mexico? Yeah, I said, I'm living in Zihuatanejo. And he goes, how dangerous is it down there? Well, I'll tell you, you've never lived anywhere so peaceful. And just understand something, just like 99% of the population is fooled when it comes to their health, okay, that they're told that, Mr. Jones, I need you to just go home and get your affairs in order because you've only got 2 weeks to live, or you've got 2 months to live, or you got 6 months to live. What a bunch of BS, but not really. Because the reality is when the doctor says to you that you only have this much time to live, he takes a look at his, statistic chart, and he goes, 69 years old, you weigh this much, and we see that the illness has gone this far. That means that you only have this long to live. And guess what? What if you didn't act like the majority, which I will never, ever follow, listen to, okay, hang around with, okay, or have anything to do with anymore? Because if you haven't woke up to this fact that the majority are going off a cliff, how many people know that 86% of the population, okay, is excessively overweight? How many people know that, okay, right now, that 60% of the population in United States is obese? How many people know that? How many people know that probably Mexico is one of the safest places you could be, but because you see herds of people going across the border wanting to get into the States, it must be so dangerous down there. I just love it. This guy says to me, well, how's the cartel though, Daryl? And I go, well, it's really okay. You could be sitting down beside them, but I don't think I've ever really seen any. I've never met any cartel yet. And the reality is this, everybody's living an illusion. You're living an illusion. And that's it. You think you know what's going on. Well, guess what? You heard it from your mother and your brother that heard it from the government. You think you know when somebody has a death sentence and they can't get themselves well. You think you know that, right? But guess what? I'm telling you right now that, you ready for this? And they're not going to like it. 95% of the natural health practitioners don't know natural health. Oh, really? Come on. How many people in every profession are masters at what they do? I look for masters at everything that I do in health. Who has mastered that product? Who has mastered that technique? I look for masters. You need to forget everything else. The reality is there's a cure for every disease, and I am not your answer. The reality is you are the answer, but if you're not willing to change your thoughts, because your thoughts created it, okay, your thoughts created every action and reaction that you have. And understand something, right now Oliver's in, where are you, Oliver?
In Chile.
In Chile. And you're also you're also in Venezuela, aren't you?
Argentina.
Argentina. Is it dangerous down there?
According to the headlines, yes, but in reality, my eyes tell me this is some of the safest, most stable societal people. People look after each other. It's completely not what if you were to read what they tell you.
Okay, so this is it, guys. Just know this. You've been ruled and screwed. And understand something. Oliver was in Zihuatanejo, Mexico, in Ixtapa with us. And Oliver, did you ever hear of anybody just even having one little incident?
Only things like translation issues, or they signed up for the wrong thing because they didn't understand it was a Saturday instead of a Wednesday. I mean, that's as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Like,
what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a comparison here. Okay. We're trying to show you that what you think is real is not real. Okay. That most things are unreal.
Can I just jump in? One thing you said before we go too far is like, you said about when they're looking at the probabilities, right? And they're saying, okay, you've got this. According to my table, you therefore have a 65% chance of this happening, a 35% chance of this happening. Therefore, we give you step 1, 2, 4 instead of step 2, 3, 5. And where did that come from? Insurance. They're like, okay, how can I pay the least amount of money to take care of this person? So it's all a calculation. It's a profit-driven decision, and these are influencing. I won't say they're shaping or creating, but they're heavily influencing the treatments, which are influencing the profession of medicine as it's learned and practiced. So we talk about Mexico, and we talk about where are these authorities coming from? Who tells you that, there's 2 murders every minute in the streets of Mexico? It's like, well, not the streets you're going to be ever in 100 years. You're never going to that part of Mexico. But on what they tell you is something different. And similarly, that number, 65% survival rate of this thing happening, these are just numbers calculated by someone else. But the person controlling it, the person on the ground, the person who's in Mexico like you, or I'm in Argentina, the person who's actually doing the healing is not the person writing the statistic. It's you. So it's really valid to think about who's telling me I can't do this, or I'm critical, or I'm not going to make it. I'm the one who's doing the work.
So the reality is if you want to live like the majority, think like the majority, eat like the majority, drink like the majority, well, the majority of their statistics are probably right. What do you think?
Yeah, but then you will have the same fate as the majority. But that's why you're here, and because you're seeking the path of self-control and at least self-awareness, so that maybe nothing's ever really in our control. And this is a different philosophical topic for another day. But we can control certain things, and those things we can take the power back to, and that's really the first step. So understanding that when we say what is critical care, when someone says you're in a critical situation of health, what does that mean? Darryl, what does that mean? What do you think happens in someone's mind when they hear those words, that you're in a critical condition, you have 3 months to live or to change your situation? What does that happen in the body?
1 foot in the grave.
Right. And do you think it's a motivating factor, or it's pulling?
Right off the bat, you're dumping adrenaline and cortisol 24/7. Right off the bat, you're telling all of the cells in your body to prepare because you're leaving the planet. Right off the bat, your cells will create a thickening on them, and there will be the outside of the cell will get thicker because it says we must be under attack. And so they say, well, we're going to have to get ready. There's going to be an attack. And when it does that, it doesn't detoxify the cell properly, and it doesn't take in the oxygen and the nutrition. But it says that we need to protect and not nourish. We need to protect and not detoxify until the threat is over.
Yeah, when they tell you on an airplane, in the event of a whatever emergency landing, what do? You put your hands under your seat. I can't do it now because I'll go off the camera. But you put your hands under the chair, put your head down, and you brace. Right, that's what they say, brace. And so you're in this stressed position, braced, holding your breath for this moment to come of the impact. Right, and what happens if your cells are in that stressed position? They're braced for impact, and they're like that all the time. Non-stop. There's no impact. There's no, okay, it's over. Everyone come out. They're just constantly braced. That's the type of situation that leads to critical situations. It's not a single switch. It's your cells being held in this state of stress. The other thing I think of is the word heart attack. And I remember when I was a kid, you think like, the word heart attack, what does it mean? And it's, someone's attacked your heart. But you have done, your heart has attacked itself because the cells have basically given different signals for it to stop the circulation or to cut off the circulation, but it's the cells were giving it the message to attack itself. So the heart attack, the ischemia, the arrest of the cardiovascular function was its own self-instructed, it was its own self-destruction. So you could say a heart attack is an autoimmune disease. It's the body attacking itself. And so who gave it that instruction? It wasn't just a single moment. It was a cumulative building up of these responses where your body has a stressful response to a stressful situation, and it builds up and builds up and builds up, and now the cells are geared and they're hardwired to be constantly in a brace state. It's like someone who has a nervous twitch. When the next person next to them is stretching out, the person twitches because they've been beat up so much their whole life. So this is where we get into the critical situation from very, very just living.
And the reality is guess what, everyone? We take our past traumas and we don't stop telling the story. And we make that story so big and so threatening. You know, it's like this. Beliefs and thoughts, the more that you feed them, the bigger they get. So you need to understand that. So how scared are you today? And if somebody tells you, I don't care who the person is, I really don't, that, you know what, you've got a life-threatening disease, you only have so long to live. Really? Really? Seriously? Who even has the right to say that? Nobody. I don't care how long you've been in practice. Okay? And the reality is, you know, I see people come in and there's no way that this person should get sicker where they're at and should pass on. And I see people that are actually burning up and passing on that should have never, ever passed on from that illness, but they did because their thoughts were in the wrong place, or guess what? They went by what everybody else is telling them. And the reason why we're telling you this is because I got to tell you, I carry a lot of really great products, and I do. I can stand behind them, and nobody can punch holes or tell me I'm lying or I cut corners. But understand something. There's not one product that I have that will even come near the measuring of this. I have a program, okay? And it's called Stealth Glucose. And this is for people that are in stage 4 inflammation, critical situations. And when we use that product and we use the Critical Care Thundershrooms, you see things that you can't even believe anymore. You see people and things like, okay, we just have to take them to hospice. That's it. It's over. And, well, guess what? I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying most of the time. But we see a lot of people going now there and coming back home in a few days because everything is frequency. And I'm telling you something, there is not another thing on this planet that will turn around the immune system faster than Critical Care Thundershrooms. Oh, yeah. They're more expensive than almost any mushroom out there. They're also 90 years old. They've got 45 years of study. And guess what? Okay? Oh, and just so you know, guess what? We cannot sell them anymore in Canada. Okay? Oh, yeah. Just like we can't advertise out CIT calcium therapy because it's too powerful. We can't sell. There was nothing against them, and you know there's nothing wrong with Thundershrooms, but it's illegal to sell them in Canada. We cannot sell them in Canada anymore. So now everybody who's in Canada now is going to have to order them from the United States. And guess what? And all they are is they are 90-year-old mushrooms that grow on the side of trees that threaten that Nazi country. And I'm telling you right now that that country is one of the worst countries in the world for natural health practitioners. And they're coming after natural health practitioners like they've never had before. You know, Oliver, they came after every natural health practitioner back about, let me see, it'd be about 18 years ago. And they're coming again. And the reality is this. You know what? People, the majority never know. They don't know what health is. They don't know people that are out there fighting for them. And guess what? I want to live someplace where I'm free. And I do. I live only in places that I'm free. And the reality is this. Guess what, though? They can still order them. They can order them. You can order Thundershrooms, Critical Care or Vital Care for personal use. You can't have more than 4 bottles. Oh, God forbid. But guess what? If I can say this, Oliver, you can now have cocaine, speed, heroin, and only for personal use in Canada. And in Canada, euthanasia is now legal. And if you want it, you can just tell your government and they'll pay for it. So understand, everybody, it's upside down. It's backwards. And we can't get angry. We just got to know how to play the game. And so we will continue.
Yeah, this is why it's really important we do these talks, Daryl, and you keep getting your message out there because people they might feel like they have no options. They might feel like they have no choices. But there are ways and things to do outside of what people tell you is possible. I remember reading about some lady who was told she's going to die in Canada. They've got nothing to help her with except assisted suicide.
Yeah.
And she went to Mexico and she had some procedure done in like a day or 2 days. And they're like, oh, this no problem. Back home she went 2 weeks later. And
okay.
I think she wrote an article around like, should I sue them? Who do I even sue? Like, who do I go after in this situation? And just resign to the fact that, okay, I'm happy I've made it through. But well, it really makes you.
That's why I'm in Mexico, because it's human down here. It's actually human. People are still human here. It's still human here. I'm going to tell you a story that you don't know. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a lady. Okay, her name is Joy, and that's it. Nobody knows where she lives. Okay, so she was 120 pounds. Okay, she had breast cancer, stage 4 inflammation. It went away, it came back, and then it went away, and it came back again. This time, every time it comes back, it's going to be a harder lesson, right? Okay? Well, anyways, guess what? She dropped from 120 pounds down to 70 pounds. We put her on 20 of the critical care in a tea. She could swallow them, whatever the case. I put her on a whole bunch of SON formula. You know SON formula? I did a few other things.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Well, so what we're averaging right now, 2 to 3 pounds gain a week. You see?
Yep.
So between resetting the immune system and giving her 20 SON a day to really just flood the amino acids, that was enough to stop the fire. And people don't know that.
Did you give her anything that's such a powerful, simple protocol that can address these critical issues? And I'm curious, Tara, did you give her anything as well for digestion, for her GI?
Oh yeah, I did other things. Like I had her taking FiberClear, and I had her doing the daily cleansing tea. But we were doing warm water tummy love enemas because the intestine was locked up. It was locked up. Okay, so what happens when you're terrified? So she was so terrified because this was the 3rd time she got breast cancer, but then it went through her body. And the reality is that she was terrified. So with the trauma, what happens? You lock down. Things lock down. And so her intestine locked down. So we did that. We did the Ormus minerals. I don't want to talk about all the different nutrients that we used, but we didn't use anything full bore, except for those 2 things. Right?
The reason I ask you, especially specifically about the GI tract, is because I might not have mentioned this with you before. The structure of the thunder shroom. Now, even when you pick it up on the tree, you can feel that the outside of the structure, it's almost like a very hard cork. It's got these little small porous holes like cork does, but it's very hard, like a crab shell. It's super hard, and it's made from the same thing, chitin. And this structure that we can see on the outside of the mushroom, it's all the way down at the cell, and the shape of the structure is actually prebiotic. And so what happens is the mushroom itself is 90 years old. It's the wild fruiting body, wild grown. But not only that, the natural shape of the mushroom at the cellular level is prebiotic, which means that it gives your body, it gives your damaged guts a nice parking spot for the probiotic, for the good bacteria to come and live. So after you've done your critical detoxing protocol, why are they having such a rapid, and this is why I was just thinking, why are they having such a rapid turnaround? It's because we're putting in the prebiotic from the mushroom with the probiotic and other gut health things you're doing, with the amino acid, which is the fuel to power the whole thing. So very simply, we make like a very critical turnaround protocol like this.
And the other thing is, if I can say this, Oliver, it's really important, I want to forget it, is that there's no bowel or bacterial problem without fungus. And when you take the mushroom, which is a fungus, it annihilates all the fungus in the intestines. I've seen it. Nothing takes care of the fungus better that I've seen is the actual thunder shrooms. Nothing.
Yeah, it's like you've got a bunch of foreign language speaking invaders or immigrants and then you're like trying to constantly kick them out when you realize they're not invaders, they're just lost tourists. You better learn the language and help them on the way. It's like that kind of thing. So the mushroom comes into the system and teaches your guts what to do with the fungus, and then it can properly sort out the fungus. Instead of just trying to be confused or puzzled, it will know what to do when it's faced with the mushroom inside. And with the I wanted to talk about a couple people I've spoken to recently, and this is all to do with surgery, people going for really critical conditions, and my own father is going for a very serious surgery. And what happens when we have the mushroom? So basically, our body needs the blood, right? Our body needs the blood at the site of site of surgery, at the site of injury. We need that blood, and the critical care, it's improving the blood flow, and that, when it improves the blood flow, that basically speeds up the healing. It's a very simple mechanism whereby if you bring more blood to the area, more oxygen-rich blood, then the healing will happen a lot faster. And so we have the critical care and also the vital care being used during, before, and after surgeries to speed up the healing recovery time, which also lowers the time that the person might be weak and the immune system having a weakness. So it can be very helpful and beneficial to take it during, before, and after these big medical procedures as well. I'm thinking of a lady who I think you spoke to recently, and I'll keep her name out for now and see if she can come on one day and tell her full story. But she had a very bad tooth, and it was a whole, the dentist wanted to basically pull everything out and do all sorts of really invasive. Okay, let's not forget that your teeth. The teeth are the only bones in the human body that are exposed. Every other bone in our body is covered by skin, except for our teeth. Our teeth, right now, you can see my skeleton, right? And this is a direct blood directly into the rest of my bones. It's visible to the outside. So they want to just rip these teeth out and put other things inside, but that's so high risk, and they always need to ask, is it really necessary? And of course, we don't know how far they really need to go, but in her case, she was very reluctant to do it. So she put it off, and eventually the situation got so bad where she had a crack one day, and they wanted to send her for emergency surgery to take out the tooth, and basically gave her very strong antibiotics and morphine. And her symptoms didn't really improve very much, and before they wanted to bring her for surgery, they said, you cannot go because your immune cell count is too low. You're not safe. We cannot bring you for the surgery because your blood cell count is too low. So that day, she took the thunder shrooms, 4 and 4. Was it? Yeah. Sorry, 3 pills and 3 again and 3 again. And the next day, by 6 a.m., just overnight, her blood cell had improved beyond what the doctor thought was possible. He said, how is your blood cell count overnight? Now we're looking really good. And it was really quite a surprising turnaround overnight as far as the blood cell count. And it's not the first time we've heard of it. Same way when my mother met you before, and she fell into a really big bout of illness following her big detox push.
Yeah.
Her blood cell count was critically low. And what the thunder shrooms did was it helped to...
Your mother couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah, that's right. And what's happening with the mushroom when we do that? Why is it that the immune cell count can go so low, then we take the thunder shrooms and it can recover so quickly? And the reason is because we have these things inside our body called stem cells. And stem cells are the baby cells that can become any type of cell. And there's specific type of stem cells. They're called 34 and 133, if you want to look them up. And these are the two type of stem cells that become healthy blood cells. One of them becomes like a healthy red blood cell, and one of them becomes a healthy white cell. And they can both become new veins to improve blood flow. So that what I said before about surgery, how do we improve after surgery, is we increase the blood flow, because the stem cells that the mushroom tells your body to make more of, they can create vast new veins, new highways. They can build roads through impassable terrain to get the blood to where it otherwise wasn't possible to go. And so inside the thunder shroom, we know that not only are we adding prebiotic, but we're adding this message which says make more stem cell 34, stem cell 133, and make them very active. Go, do it. And these stem cells can become new blood cells. So overnight, we can go from, are they even safe to go for surgery? We don't even know if they can do the surgery. They might die on the operating table the next day. Wow, the blood cell count is looking pretty good. And that's...
Do you know...
Yeah.
Does everybody understand what Oliver's actually saying? Do you understand how life-saving this is? And understand something, everyone. When I talk about everything is curable, I'm not talking about Dr. Wolf or the Doc of Detox. I did not say I cure anyone, because that would be a fallacy. Okay, that would be a farce. The reality is that nature, God, and you, it's a trifecta. It's a trifecta. Take massive personal action, take high vibrational nutraceuticals, and make sure that you believe in yourself and you have faith in what you cannot see, but what you know is out there. And understand something, and you need to get this. Don't make a mistake, people, because people like to hear things. Oh, Dr. Wolf said he cures anyone. No, I did not say that. I will tell you that I am probably one of the best health detectives that I know. I'm a health detective. That's it. Nothing else. All right? So you need to get that and understand something. The cure is you. The cure is the trifecta, like I just said. So you need to really put that into your mind.
What you're saying now, Dow, about being a health detective, you're like the head detective, but the person you're training is your client, is your patient, because they're the final detective who's working the case.
Yeah.
Right? You might tell them how to solve the case, but they're the one who has to go and do the investigation. And one thing we use the thundershoes for, and this was even written about, I guess, not 700 years ago, in the Chinese medical text, they said if someone comes to you, if a patient comes to you complaining of some unknown discomfort, maybe they feel icky, or they feel sleepy, or they feel lethargic, or the menstrual flow hasn't come on time, something's wrong but they don't know what, you give them this yellow lump mushroom, which is the thunder shroom, and you listen to where the mushroom tells you the problem is. So I say it again, you listen to what the mushroom tells you the problem is, because your immune system is very smart. When you have with the mushroom, it stimulates the immune system to go to wherever the issue is and do work. Like go to the issue, go to the problem site and do some work there. And if you listen closely enough, or with the classic physician, the old physician, they would listen and look for the symptoms. And they would give the mushroom and say, oh, I have a warmth in my belly, in my lower belly. Okay, we have blocked menstrual blood. And now we have increased the blood flow. And side note, and I want to talk about this specifically about women's health, but we'll have to do this another time. But one thing in particular, we're simply talking about blood flow, is we get a lot of women, young women, who take the critical care or the Vital Life for the first time, and they call me, or they don't call me because they're a bit shy, and they say, I have some side effect from taking the thundershrooms, and I don't really know how to. I'm a bit, basically I've experienced very heavy flow, and that's fantastic, because what that means is they're not used to having a menses that's 2 or 3 days done. They're not used to the fact that the body really wants to get all that stuff out fast, not 7-day drip, espresso machine drip, drip, drip. That's not what the body is designed to do. It's designed to get it out, gush it out. And for many people, that's quite surprising the first time they experience that after taking the thundershroom. So if anyone's listening for the first time you experience that, that's good. That means your body is picking up it's moving at the pace it's supposed to. So increasing the blood flow is a big part of your body doing the heavy work. And when we take the mushroom, we can act as a detective. We can listen to where does the pain occur? Where does the warmth, where does the redness, where does that appear? And let's go investigate further for maybe what's going on inside.
Beautiful. Somebody's asking where I am. I'm in Zihuatanejo. If you ever saw Shawshank Redemption, that's where they ran away to. Okay, so I guess that's where I didn't run away from anything, but I definitely ran here. I mean, I can see right here the bay right here, and people playing in it. Right when I'm done with Oliver, I'll go out and swim a half mile tonight. I've been trying to do that every day, Oliver. Half a mile. Anyways.
Yeah, they're special.
I want to talk about something else. Are you ready for this? I just got a text here, and I was up at the pool and earlier this morning, and I got a text come in, and her name is Joy, and she's from New York, and she came to one of my lectures, and they went on a protocol, and they started doing the detox, and I told her, because her immune system, she was having all types of immune problems. Okay. And she went on the critical care. They were unable to have children. I want you to know that. They were unable to have children. Okay. All right. So she went on the critical care, and I told her, you need to do anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, because her immune system is always falling down. And you've got to have it up long enough and strong enough to create a new thought, not just in here, but in the cells that have a thought that sickness is the deal, right? Well, guess what? I can send it to you. Want me to send it to you? I'll send it to you, Oliver. She just got pregnant 3 months into the Thunder Shrooms. So, yes, she's doing other things, but we never kicked but that was a year. She was doing a year of the other things. And I said, well, we've got to bring the immune system up, because it just kept faltering. She says, I'm feeling better, but then she'd fall back, and then she'd fall back. And she said, guess what? I'm the healthiest I've ever been, and I'm pregnant.
I'm so grateful to hear that, and it's not the first time. We've had this before. We had a very good friend in Thailand who came to take it for the father who had a very advanced Parkinson's disease. The daughter and son were my age and couldn't get pregnant for years, and they basically took some of Dad's supply, and after 3 or 4 months, and they were pregnant. And this is after like a decade of you know how much you spend on doing all these crazy techniques and procedures to have even a small chance of, and so
Yeah.
they had no expectation of it happening. They didn't take the Thunder Shrooms because of that. They took it for just general health, and they were very pleasantly surprised. So,
Well, you just need the right diving board for those little sperm cells.
well, what it tells you is that your body's really trained to do everything. Very likely is the reason blocking it is you, and it means that you can be the reason to unblock the thing from happening.
Isn't that the truth?
I'm really grateful to hear that about that case. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I like when people share their stories, It's really,
me too.
Yeah.
I was blessed to hear this one about the surgery who was, really improved greatly by the Thunder Shrooms, and how the blood cell count was really improved.
I know.
She also shared.
Oh, I just wanted to say this, everyone, and I didn't finish my sentence before because Oliver rudely interrupted me. No, he didn't. Anyways, I forgot, but I just wanted to say this. Do you know how many people have low blood count and they can't get it up? Right? I mean, that is an epidemic in itself. Okay, I get those calls all the time, and I go, just try this. Just try it. But you know what, everybody? I want everybody to understand something. You got a front end load. Load. When people come to us and they see what's on the bottle, that's called kiss butt. And we are kissing the butt of the FDA and of the Health Protection Branch, okay? Because they make us put the very minimal on there, okay? The reality is just know this. When you read any of my products, it is the bare minimum that you see on the bottles. It's the bare minimum. And the reality is the deeper the hole, the longer the ladder, because you don't want it, you can't, if you climb a 5-foot ladder 4 times, you're not getting out of a 20-foot hole. You're just pretending. So at the beginning, you'll find you can go easy to go, oh, am I going to do okay with this? But then you need to front end load. And then you bring yourself out of the hole. Then you rewrite the program right down to the DNA, RNA, right down to the level, the lowest level in the cells. Once you create that new program, you don't quit, but you can back off, and then you maintain and you feed the program, because it's all a program. It's all just frequency. It's all just vibration. So we want to feed the frequency, the right frequency, to create the right vibration long enough to strong enough that the cell knows how to sing again. That's it.
Yep. Retrain it from the start so that it can take care of itself after you've finished training it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So most people, I think, if they will definitely benefit, of course, all humans at all stage of health will benefit from Thunder Shrooms, in usually the vital care. But depending on the situation, is almost always better to front end load your dose and to take it for a heavy dose for the first 1 to 2 to 3 months. And then along with your massive personal action during those 3 months, retrain the signals, retrain your body's stimuli to respond in different ways. And then after that, it will not be so much of a difficult effort for you and for your cells to maintain the new action.
Okay, and if I can just say this, somebody's asking, yes, if you are a health practitioner, okay, and you want to carry our products, yes, you can. You just have to give me a call. Just give me a call. My extension's number 5, or you can call me at 469-861-8884 on WhatsApp or directly through. It's a U.S. number. So even though I'm in Mexico or anywhere in the world, you can just call that number. You just have to call it, and you'll get me.
And
but go ahead.
Specifically, if anyone's interested, they would need to know more details about what specific protocols they want to recommend to their clients or to their patients that are based around Thundershrooms. For example, if you have someone who's concerned about childhood, like autism prevention or these types of very specific things, please email me at thundershrooms.docofdetox@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
And I will take up any personal or direct questions there. No problem.
Everybody, you got to understand, we're just here to help you. We really are, okay? We promise to be as authentic. We promise to be as respectful and honorable as, well, we're just going to do it because that's how the only way we can live. But like I said, yep, that person's asking again. Yep. You know what? What? Well, no. If you're a natural health practitioner, then you can get our products and you can get what we call VIP, and then you'll get our products wholesale, yes. And those people that take our any Wolf non-surgical or Whole Life Coach certification, they also get it automatically. And yeah, that's right. So anyways, everybody also check out braveheartnation.com because we're doing a whole series of certification courses in Whole Life Coach and Wolf non-surgical. And we're doing the Braveheart Healing Circle and the pelvic restoration course in Ixtapa, Mexico at the Cala de Mar. It's a 4-diamond resort. July 8th is the kickoff, but go to braveheartnation.com. So when are you coming back to Mexico, Oliver?
I'll have to put it on the calendar and let you know because it's definitely always on my mind. Mexico is a very special place. It really is.
So when's the next? Go ahead.
I said particularly that part of Mexico is, I think, it's far enough away from the border. So you don't get all the spring breakers there, like you do in Cabo and the places that are closer by. So yeah, Ixtapa's nice and far enough away that you get peace.
Oh, it's totally tranquil and peaceful here. So when's the next time we're going to be seeing you?
Well, let's do another show either next week or the week after before people start stuffing themselves for pretending they're a Christmas turkey.
Well, next week would be about the 12th. I don't think anybody wants to hear from us around the 17th or 18th, do you?
Yeah. Okay, let's do that either 12th or 13th next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And just know this, everyone. Please check out the information. If you go to my library, Doc of Detox Library, look at Thundershrooms, and you can watch so many different shows. And can you make it really clear to them? There's been over 40 years of real scientific study on these. Yes,
this is. You might, if you Google the word Thundershrooms, it's not going to show anything because that's our name for it. But the scientific name is Felinus linteus, Phellinus, Felinus mushroom. You can look that up, and it would be better if you looked it up using the Korean or Japanese or Chinese name because this is where we've got over 2,000 papers published in academic journals in the International Medical Journal of Korea, etc. They're just not in English. So in English, I think we have a couple hundred now that have been translated or done in English, at least 300, 400. And you definitely get stuck into the research. It's funny how stuff just doesn't get picked up until it comes with a mainstream price bracket. Once it does, then it would be all over Google tomorrow. But something that's quite hard to get, it's not going to be as easy to find the information. But if you dig, it's all there. And when we talk about these formulas we're using and why is this mushroom prepared in this formula is because this is the formula that is based on 20 years of research to get not only, so the first 20 years was just figuring out, okay, this is the right mushroom, great. And another 20 years to figure out what's the right way to extract it, put it in a capsule to have a beneficial effect without wasting people's time or killing the mushroom for no benefit. That took 40 years to figure all that out. And so that's exactly what's in Thundershoom. So that knowledge and that experience is based on research and, you know, collaboration between 12 different countries of researchers. That's what goes into the Thundershoom's formula.
Thank you. And if I can say this, there's people who have questions on here. If you could do me a favor, just call 855-900-4544 extension 5. And if you don't get me, leave a message. I always call you back. Or call me at 469-861-8884, USA Direct. You're not paying long distance. It just comes right into where I am here in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Or you can call me on WhatsApp on that phone number. And feel free to call me with your questions. You know what? Don't put me up on a pedestal. Okay? All right? I'm scared of heights. Okay? Get me down at eye level with you and understand something. I work for you. And we do. We work for you. Okay? Understand, there's nothing greater than helping to relieve somebody's pain. And understand something, it's not always going to be about buying products from us. If you go to my do-it-yourself guide, clapping, belly button therapy, the exercise, a vaginal infusion, the ultimate coffee enema, therapeutic vomiting. I mean, the reality is this, until you want to take massive personal action and change those thoughts and understand that Dr. Wolf is not your hero, and either is any other doctor or practitioner, you must become your own hero. Oliver, would you like to finish it up for today?
I just want to add on that, which is that it's not always about, just buying products. There's so many ways to take action, but it takes effort. Clapping it actually takes effort. You have to sit there and smack out the buildup of, therapeutic vomiting, belly button therapy. They're all free, but they take effort. So the massive personal action is, there's never too late a time to start it, but it comes at a cost, which is usually effort. So, don't be afraid of it because it has results.
Absolutely. And just know this, I won't let you down. If you call and you don't hear from me that day, you call me back the next day. Okay, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, okay? You've got to do that. And I promise we'll talk, all right? We'll talk. Thank you, Oliver, for coming on.
Thank you, Daryl. Always a fun chat. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, my friend.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming on. And I appreciate everybody's comments here. But like I said, what's wrong with calling me? There's so many people that call in and then my staff say, well, just give them a call. Give them a call. And that's all you got to do. You just got to give me a call. That's it. And but first, call on yourself because you are so much more. And think about what I said today about changing your thoughts. You are here for the greatest adventure of your life. And you're not going to have it if you are on autopilot. And understand, most of people are on autopilot. People are only 2% in the present moment each day now. That's our actual statistic. Do something. Let's see how much you can love and care for yourself today, tonight, and tomorrow. All right? Thanks for joining me. God bless everyone. 3, 2, 1. I know you got this.